Welcome to Washington Whispers. I'm the editor, Paul Bedard. Well, February's a big month in journalism. It's when newspapers submit their stuff to the Pulitzer Prize Committee. For the big papers, the prize is always breaking news and investigative categories. And surprise, surprise, sex scandals have been the rage recently. Even the New York Times, for example, has won 2 on that topic. One for Lewinsky coverage, and another for stories about former Governor Eliot Spitzer's romp with a hooker in Washington. So it only makes sense that the John Edwards sex affair and love child story should be an easy win, right? Well, maybe not. And that's because the paper that had the story nailed right up until when Edwards admitted fathering a daughter out of wedlock is the National Enquirer. There's a bias against the paper, plain and simple. But the Enquirer's editor, Barry Levine, made the paper's first ever Pulitzer submission because he thinks his reporters deserve it. Now, the Pulitzer Committee isn't keen on it, but Barry tells me he's ready to fight.
It appears that the Pulitzer board is trying to come up with excuses so they don't have to review our submission. I think for them it would be easier if they're obviously this is opening up certainly for them a can of worms if they cite the Enquirer as a prize-worthy publication. I mean, the fact is they are saying we may be ineligible because they looked online and they saw that that it was billed as a magazine. But in fact, we view ourselves as a tabloid newspaper. We view ourselves as that legally. And for years on the cover of the Enquirer, it said largest selling paper in America. And that was on the cover for, decades.
Sure, yeah.
Before we removed that. So, they looked online and they told the reporter that from ABC News that they found that on our website. In fact, it wasn't the Enquirer website. It was an online corporate media kit that had been done by someone in the marketing department that has no connection to the editorial department whatsoever. So in my cover letter with the submission last week to the Pulitzer board, I notated that we are a newspaper, a tabloid newspaper, and we apologize for any misunderstanding. But
you think you're eligible?
We do think we're eligible, they've also made an issue over the fact that we practice checkbook journalism. But as I told reporters on this story, if we had been in a position to write a check to someone, as opposed to all the money we spent in terms of pouring resources into this story, sending reporters on planes, traveling, doing surveillance for months at a time, it certainly would have been cheaper to get the story in the paper over the length of the investigation by writing a check. But that wasn't how the story was unearthed. It was unearthed through hard, shoe leather, old-fashioned, reporting.
It'll be a couple of months before the prizes are announced, and frankly, I'd be surprised if they win. But a prize wouldn't bug me either. I mean, theirs was a heck of a story, and Edwards has fessed it all. All right, that's a wrap. Thanks for listening, and check my website daily to see what Washington is whispering. I'm Paul Bedard.